Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? I'm Reverend Tracy Earlywine, and I am just delighted to welcome you to our community that is meeting online these days. And isn't it still wonderful to come together in the consciousness of unity and love and fellowship and a reminder, right? We all need these reminders of how good life can be, what is the truth within each and every one of us, and how it all comes together in an expression of love and joy and kindness when we are centered in the truth of ourselves. So thank you for coming together with us. Thank you for reminding yourself just how magnificent you are. For together we do and can change the world. So this morning I want to say happy Kwanzaa to everyone. We are in the midst of a African-American holiday which celebrates oneness and unity and talks about the principles of right living. And it's an excellent reminder of when we focus on that which is important to us and what we value, we realign ourselves in a way that allows us to live most authentically. So happy celebration of Kwanzaa to our friends in the community who celebrate. I want to thank you all for participating in our candlelight service. There were some of you that were able to be online, and some of you came and parked in our parking lot and sat in your chairs under your blankets, and we sang Christmas carols and talked about the Christmas story. And I will say it is the most unique candlelight service I have ever done. I honestly have never done a service by car light before. So it was fabulous, and thank you all for participating. It's just one of those ways that we're making the best of what we have right now, and it was delightful. So today, our practitioner that is helping us on platform is Pat Richards. She'll be doing our opening for us, and it's the beginning of our end-of-year services. And I say services because not only do we have today's talk, but Wednesday night we have a Taizé service, which is a beautiful music and meditation service, a place of peace to go within, and I hope you'll tune in for that on Zoom, and more details afterwards. And we also have on January 31st at 4 a.m. the World Peace Service, where the entire globe comes together at the same time to pray for world peace. So we have our end of year beginning now. So let's start, as we always do, with a moment of reflection and an opportunity to go within. So if you will, take a deep breath and close your eyes. And just breathe into that tone and allow yourself to recognize your heart space. That place of love and peace and oneness.
Right here, right now, in this space, please breathe into this amazing essence, this amazing God-filled essence. And what an amazing morning it is. It's crisp and clear, and the light is extraordinary. The clouds are wispy and light and airy. And as the sun reflects off the water, it just lights up the sky. It's like the reflection of diamonds that sparkle, and it's just full of brightness and newness and all those amazing God-filled qualities. There's a little bit of a breeze, and it's crisp and clear, and it smells good. There's eucalyptus and pine still, and it's just got an amazing essence to it. And I ask you to just open up and just breathe all of that goodness, all that love and light and energy into you, and just let it flow through and over you. Breathe it all in and feel the rejuvenation and the light. Just let it breathe in and just soak it all up and just let it fill you up. Feel yourself getting a little bit more taller and a little bit more, feel a little bit of essence and energy in you. Just breathe all that in, breathe it out. What an amazing gift that is. I'm so happy to be here today, so happy to be part of this service, and full of this energy and goodness that we all take in. And please join me in saying, and so it is. My reading today is from Creative Thought. It's from January of 2014. And it's called, I Enter into the Silence of My Soul. I have complete awareness that there is a principle of perfection as invisible presence within me that externalizes itself for me and through me in every activity of my life. I am one with this living presence, and all that it is, I am. Through the power of the indwelling Spirit, I am uplifted, blessed, and transformed by the renewing of my mind. I do everything with a renewed sense of resilience upon the law. I am living a God-centered life. All of my activities are blessed with success and fulfillment. I let go of any ideas of fear, doubt, and confusion. I choose faith in divine intelligence, which is always available for me and acts through me as prosperity, joy, and peace. With gratitude for this ever-expanding awareness of truth, I enter into the silent knowing. The one within me creates this revelation through me. That which is the nature of God is who I am. I release my word to the one, and so it is.
So for the next 2 weeks, we're closing out the old year and opening up to the new year. We have endings and we have beginnings. And today is called Review, Release, and Renew. Next week, we'll talk about Reveal. But this is the time of year where we tend to look back and, culturally we come up with the best of lists, right? The best picture, the best new gadget, the best song. And I'm thinking 2020's best of list has got to be pretty interesting, right? It's, it should be good. Should be good. But this year it has, that impulse to look back has a new intensity. For all the jokes we make about what a crazy year this has been, it really has had a deep impact on all of us. And there is a lot, that I want to recover from my pre-pandemic life, but I certainly don't want to go back to a normal that loses what this year has actually taught and given to us. To new ways to live into life, to lean into a new perspective, a new approach, things we never thought we would be doing. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that. So what we're doing today is a process. It's actually for you, because I can tell you what I've learned from 2020. I've been talking all year long about how to find the meaning and stay with a spiritual perspective, the bigger view of what's happening in our lives. But truth is, I don't live your spiritual life for you. That what happens within you, the awakening, the deepening, the expansion, the transformation, that all comes from within. That's already there. So today is an opportunity for us together to get clear for ourselves where we are, how we've been living, how we've managed this year, and what we want to take with us and what we want to let go of. I have a poem from Science of Mind practitioner Joanne Young Elliott, and I quoted an excerpt from it for this week. The avenue of our life's journey exists in our subconscious, our soul. It's time to release ourselves to its revelation. And so we begin by reviewing how we've lived this year. How have we loved? How have we forgiven? How have we moved forward? How have we lifted up? And recognizing what it is we choose to release. What is it we're not keeping? What is it we're done with? What has reached a cycle of completion that we can simply let go of so that we might make room for what's new, for what's to come? And we focus on renewing, not so much that we know what all the new stuff is going to be, but renewing our resolve to live our best life, to take those places where we know we want to do more, to love more, to show up in a better way. Resolve to do better. Resolve to live more authentically. And that's what this process is going to do for us. It's based on the work of Reverend David Alt. He's a Science of Mind minister and musician. And he's provided questions to guide us through this process. And what I'd like for you to do is to have something to write with and something to write on. So pen and paper, take a moment, get that settled. Pause the recording and go get it and come back. And on your paper, set yourself up with a yes and a not always column. A yes and a not always, a yes and a no column. And as we go through these questions and I talk about these ideas, whatever comes to mind for you about your life and how you see your unfoldment in 2020, write down a couple keywords in each column. And at the end of this process, I think we'll all have a pretty clear idea of what we want to keep and what we want to release. And then we'll be ready for next week's revelation. All right, so if you will, take these questions into your hearts. Let my words just inspire your own thoughts about your own lives. The first question is, did I express love this year? Real love? Ernest Holmes tells us that love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. It is written that God is love, and that we are the expressed likeness of that Most High, the image of the eternal being. You see, love is common to all people, to animal life. It's evident even with your plants. You know, people who love plants, their plants grow better than those of us who ignore our plants. Love is simply the energy that reigns supreme over all of life. It is the energy of life. It's that love that stimulates our emotions, that renews the soul, that brings us to a place of healing. Where in your life have you expressed this love? And where maybe not? Words don't really encompass what love is. But there is a universal sense of that unconditional love of the presence of the one, of that life which is life-giving, love-giving. It's that love that we seek and that we seek to express with each other. When I'm in relationship with someone, it's the part of me that bubbles up in resonance when I realize there's a strong connection. There's not a lot of conditions or rules on it. It's authentic. It's quiet. It comes from within. And it frees up my compassion so that I can act more kindly, because what I know is when I am standing in love, then I am not in judgment. And we all could use a little break from judgment. So there are parts in my life where I know that I missed the mark in terms of expressing love and kindness because of judgment, or because of fear, or because I was angry. So take a moment and think about this love that knows only enoughness, fulfillment. And tell yourself, where I have loved, real love, I bring it forward into the new. And where I have not, then I resolve to be and do better in my authentic loving. Our next question. Did I forgive this year? Really forgive? When Jesus was asked how many times we were to forgive, he said 70 times 7. That is a mystical number, and what it basically boils down to is constantly. You forgive constantly, all the time, over and over and over again. It's forgiveness that cracks open our own hearts, because we have to forgive ourselves. We have to know that we do the best we can with what we know at the time, and that we can always and choose always to do better. Forgiveness is what unclenches my fist and helps me to let go of my very strident and obviously right opinions. It's forgiveness that says, your opinions are okay for you, and I can let that be. It's forgiveness that says that in any situation, I can understand the difference between what someone does or what I've done versus what, what is to be condoned and what is not to be accepted. Right? The hardest thing about forgiveness is falling into the trap of thinking that that means we're telling the person that what they did was okay. That's not it at all. True forgiveness is to give the situation back up to the spiritual truth, which is more about allowing people to unfold on their own path, realizing only what is ours to do from a place of love, and letting the behavior, the circumstance, the hurt, even the trauma, turning that over. And not letting it run us. Not letting it run me for the rest of my life. Instead, to give love, to give space, to take space where necessary to stay safe. But to no longer be hooked. To really be able to move through life with an open heart. So, did I forgive this year? Really forgive? Where I have, I bring that forward with me into the new. And where not, I resolve to be and do better in my authentic forgiveness. Again, if you have thoughts about this in your own life as we move along, just write down keywords for yourself in your columns. The next question is, did I stop this year? Really stop? Well, shoot, all of us had to stop, right? I mean, did we have to pause and reconsider? Yes. Yes, we did. Because circumstances said we weren't to be going anywhere. And we had to curtail our activities. And we talked about this especially early on in the pandemic, that we were all having to pause and decide what was most important to us and how we might do it creatively when we weren't allowed to do things in the usual way. When we were being asked to be extremely careful with our physical presence. So pausing to stop also caused us to have to look within more often. Did I really stop and look at how I feel? Did I really stop and give myself permission to express my emotions? Did I really stop and listen to my loved ones, to my own heart? Where I did, let me bring that forward into the new. And where not, I resolve to do and be better in allowing that inner pause to bring me back to myself. Ask yourself, did I seek adventure this year? Real adventure? I kind of think we all had adventure sort of thrust upon us. We all had to take a leap into things we didn't know how to do, into doing things in new ways. No roadmaps. Nobody's ever lived through this before. So here we are making stuff up all the time. And aren't we glad that we have creative minds giving us technology that allow us to see each other's faces when we can't be in the same space together? But did I really take a risk? Did I jump out there somewhere? Did I remind myself that my very capable wings would take me higher if I but stepped out a little? If I let myself explore? We all had to change. But we didn't all have to do a whole lot of exploration. And yet those that did, and those places where we did, I know we were blessed by them. I know that something new was born. I know that something in us recognizes that, oh, I didn't even know that was possible. Look at me. Woo-hoo-hoo, Here we are taping a service. Who knew I'd be speaking to a camera? Not in my wildest dreams. And yet, here it is, a way for us to stay connection. So the adventure of life. Did I really do that this year? And where I did, I take all of that with me into the new. And where not, I resolve to be and do better in my willingness to seek adventure. The next one really made me pause and think, did I seek wellness this year? Real wellness? Well, if you don't count the pandemic ice cream that was consumed every evening while trying to figure out how to make this stupid situation work better, I suppose I did okay. How about you? It's the wellness that comes from really being conscious of what you put in your body. And that asks you to really practice the fitness that you say you want. Take a walk. Ride your bike. Get out a little bit. There's a lot of things we found we could do without compromising anyone's safety. Things that we could do with a mask on that maybe we didn't know we could do. And as complex as it seemed to be, there's something in us that knows what we physically need for our physical health. And where I did that well, I bring that with me. And where not, I truly resolve to do and be better at living my wellness. Now, in 2020, did you play? Did you really play? How many times do we not take a moment for enjoyment because we're too busy? Or I have too many obligations, or there's just not enough hours in the day. Well, let me tell you, in 2020 from March on, there were a lot of hours in the day, a lot of them. Now, I understand that for folks with kids at home, the hours in the day were extremely complicated. You actually had to have 2 days in one because you had the kids' schoolwork that you were helping them with and going back to school with them, right? Learning math all over again? Fractions, yes. Along with doing your own work. But for some of us, we had time. Did you play? Did you really benefit from the balance of free time to let your mind wander, to do something you enjoy, to find ways to laugh? Where I did, I choose to bring that forward into the new. And where I did not, I resolve again to be and do better in that balance of play and work, so that I might truly live the joy that is the truth of life. Couple more. Did I clear up my relationships at all? Really? Clean them up? Was I honest with myself about grudges and resentments? Did I reach out to make amends? Did I really want to show up as my true self, and did I find ways to do that? I think in 2020, in some ways, it was easier. You know, we couldn't really be face to face all the time, and sometimes those difficult conversations are easier when you're just on the phone and you're not really looking at each other, or in a letter, or an email. Hopefully it wasn't on Facebook. That's kind of a messy way to clean up relationships. That's just my personal opinion. But you know, if we had to stretch this year to learn how to honor other people's points of view, because in some families, the views were very divided. In some communities, it was very intense. What did I do to clean up from my end what I could? Where did I listen more deeply, allow for more differences, work to create equity and justice? Where I did, I carry that forward into the new. And where I did not, I resolve to do and be better in my living healthy relationships. Did I share my good this year? Really share? The kind of sharing that comes from the pure joy of seeing someone succeed, not from what I think they can do for me. You know, did I really work my way back to the place where you share with your best friend just because you both enjoy it? You know, did you split the chocolate cupcake, or did you keep it all for yourself? You know, I think we had a lot of unique opportunities because we had to consciously decide how and where and what we were going to share, because it wasn't happening in the daily interchange for a lot of us. Most of us were close to home without a lot of social interaction. And that sharing shows up also as giving to where you are spiritually fed. Did you keep that flow going, that giving, receiving, and giving again? Did you keep the flow of abundance moving in your life? Where I did, I choose to bring that forward into the new. And where I did not, I resolve to do and be better at true sharing. Did I pray this year? Really pray? The kind of prayer that's not spoken to God, but as God, affirming, not beseeching. Did I recognize the good, see it, and claim it? Did I remember my divine birthright? Did I make everything I do every day a prayer? The song we used to sing, our thoughts are prayers, and I am always praying. Where in my life did I stay in alignment with spiritual truth, and where not? Where did I practice being the change, living the values, and where not? Where I did, I bring it forward with me into the new, for it serves me well. And where I did not, I resolve to be and do better while praying. Did I do all these things because I truly understand the divinity within me, how precious I am? That these activities are all my way of living the spiritual life? That the light that is within the heart is the light of spirit and is to be shared? I ask the question of myself, but you are asking it of yourself as well. Did you remember that you're perfectly conceived and always held in the perfect hands of God? Do you know that there's nothing you can ever say or do or think that will separate you from that unconditional love? If for any reason we've forgotten our divinity this year, then let us resolve to be and do better in our knowing of it, in our fully understanding and living the truth that we are. To truly live out what we believe, that the good is for all, that there is more than enough, and that love heals. Take a moment. If you've written things down, take a moment. Look at your yeses, the things that you brought forward into the new year, and say thank you for the gifts of 2020. In your heart, be appreciative of all that we've seen and all that we've become, expected and unexpected, as the gift that it truly is. Ernest Holmes says that it's necessary to release thoughts and things that clutter our lives and to release that which is not needed. So when you look at your no column, or where you did not maybe live up to all that you wanted, or where you resolved to do better for the next year, take a look at that and just write down a few key words of what you want to release. What are you done with? What has lived its full life cycle in you and you are letting go? What is it that you do not want to bring with you? Are there residual resentments or divisions or a sense of separation? Is there a place in your heart that still hurts because of how you think about things? Take a moment. Know for yourself what you are letting go of this year and write it down. And now take that piece of paper and crumple it up into a ball, as tight as you can make it. Make a lot of noise doing it. Smoosh it all together. And as you do that, hear this affirmation and repeat it silently or repeat it out loud to yourself right now. I release this into the nothingness from whence it came. This is no longer and not the truth of my being. I let it go. Now, if you have a trash can within view, I say you try to make a basket with it into the trash. If you don't, feel free to heave it across the room to truly let it go. And if not, get up, walk over, and put it in the trash and close the lid and come back. I'll wait. We let go of what no longer serves us. And when you're back, when you've let it go, when you feel that, leave your hands. Close your eyes with me and take a moment to go back into that heart space where light and love exist for you and as you. This room within you that is sacred, where the air is clear, where the inspiration flows, where love lives and expresses as your best self. For what I know is that when we stand in this place, this heart center of love, this divine room within, that we are standing in the Holy of Holies, that there is only life which is sacred, and all which obstructs our view simply falls away. For in this place there is perfect vision. In this place there is only healing. In this place we are reminded of the truth and the power that we are. And so having cleared out, having made room, having opened up space for the new to come in, I simply say thank you. I am simply grateful for all of the gifts of 2020, those I wanted and those I didn't, those I see and those yet to be revealed. For what I do know is that life is for me. Life is for each one of us, no matter what it looks like. And the power of light and love within creates a clear path for us to move forward. And in this knowing, I give great thanks and simply release my word into law. For it is done in the mind of God and unfolds for us just as we need it to be. And so it is. And I conclude today with this idea that right where we are, God is, even in the midst of all that we have been through. For standing here today, what I feel is love, and what I feel is connection, and what I know is that we are all that love and connection in form. And there is no power stronger than that. And I bless each and every one of you. Namaste. So let's take a moment for an affirmation of the day. Repeat after me. Today my heart and mind are clear. All that is no longer serving me falls away. I am ready to receive in new ways. And so it is. Ooh, the light coming through is so bright. I love it. All right, some invitations for you. I want to thank you for your continued year-end contributions. Your willingness and ability and the outpouring of love and financial support has been magnificent. We are in good standing, and what I know is that as we give to this community in turn serves not only each other, but we serve out into the greater community. So thank you all for your ongoing support and your love of Claremont Center. I want to do a special thank you for our volunteers and our board members and our practitioners that have made our special events possible. There's been a lot of planning and creating and wonderful things, baskets being put together, if you recall, and just fun ways to be together, organizing, drawing chalk lines on the parking lot. I mean, it's hard to realize how much it really takes for us to have the events that we do and how many hands and hearts make it possible. So thank you to each and every one, whatever role you played in the creation or the participation of it. It's been a wonderful holiday season, even in 2020, and that's all thanks to you. Let's see, we have a special service this Wednesday night. It's a Taizé service, it's music and meditation. It's a professionally produced video of an absolutely gorgeous process of moving within and moving into a place of peace and being supported in that. And I really encourage you to get online this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for our Gateway service. The whole thing is a meditation. And if you have not yet joined us on Zoom, if you haven't been to our live events, please reach out. Talk to Mary, talk to Patty, call the office. Let us help you get hooked up. Talk to Mickey Daniels. She'll tell you. We'll help you get online so that you can be a part of these things that we're able to do virtually when we can't meet in person. Thursday morning this week, 4 a.m., is the World Peace Service. This is something that's been happening since the late 80s. It's a time where everywhere on the planet, on every continent, people pause to pray for world peace. And we are a part and have been a part of that from the beginning. Unfortunately, the time of day for us is 4 a.m. That's just kind of how it works out. Hawaii would be much easier to manage. But here we are, 4 a.m. That's okay, because you know why? We always tell you can come in your jammies, but this time we really mean it. You're going to be on your couch. You're going to dial in on Zoom. You're going to be able to see our candlelit service for world peace and participate in the prayers and the music and everything it takes for us to be the peace we want to see in the world. So do plan on joining us at 4 a.m., you can always go right back to bed when we're done. Yes. Although, I don't know, I always find it energizing. I'm always like awake afterwards, but you do what you want to do. Cutest pajamas might win a prize. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. All right, we have a new program opportunity coming up. We're going to do a daily affirmation, either as a text or a phone call that you can opt in to receive. So there's information in the e-blast coming out, and you might have already seen it this week. You can talk to Andy in the office or talk to Mary about signing up for this service. It's a daily service, a daily affirmation. It's just another way to stay in touch with your spiritual community. And if you change your mind down the road, you can always opt out. But, try it. Let's see. Let's find new ways to be connected, because truth is we're going to be doing this distance thing for a little bit longer. I want to let you know that in January we will not do any in-person services. Everything will be online. And that is really just to keep everybody safe. As soon as we know that it's safe to do so, we'll venture again to meet outdoors or whatever the health department guidelines are. But for right now, we're going to take a step back, just stay online, give everybody a breather, and let us all move into a healthier 2021, right? All right, also coming up in January, starting on the 17th, which is a Thursday, I'm going to be teaching an online class of Beyond Limits, which is open to everyone. It's about the science of mind principles. It's a 10-week accredited class. We'll be meeting at 9:30 in the morning from 9:30 to 12, and everybody's welcome. The cost is $260. That covers the class, certification, it covers your materials, and the only thing besides that are the books. There are payment plans available, there are discounts available, so don't let that stop you. If you'd like to learn more about the principles of science of mind and how to live them in your daily life, this is a great opportunity to do so. So Thursday morning, starting the 17th at 9:30 a.m. till noon. And again, we'll have flyers and announcements for between now and then just to get you all the details. And I hope you'll be able to join us for that. That's all I have for this week. That's all I have for this year. So blessings, and know that you are loved.